As a pilot, I'm very lucky that I still get a buzz of doing the job. Generally, when you're expecting a ship, say at 4 o'clock in the morning, you sleep with perhaps not so deeply as you would normally. I'm the pilot for the Torridge estuary, which includes Bideford, Yelland and Appledore. I'm also the part-time harbour master for Bideford. Pilot boat is like a taxi that takes the pilot out to the ship, and he boards the ship and he conducts the ship into the port. One of the reasons that I enjoy the job still is because we have such a good team. The main coxswain is John Pavitt. He's spent most of his life as a lifeboat volunteer. And we have Tom Flaxman as crew.
Yeah, I popped into Roger about 3 years ago asking if there's any chance of coming out on the pilot boat just out of interest, and he offered to pay me, and I haven't looked back since. Over there, North End Yacht Club in Instow, which is my main job, where I'm the secretary. I'm basically the crew. It's basically mooring, making sure Roger doesn't fall off, and keeping an eye out for hazards.
Yeah, we're going out to board the Rosebird. We'll go out to sea a couple of miles.
My job on the pilot boat is to get Roger onto the ships safely and get him off again. Obviously it's my call where and when I take Roger on and take him off. Just got to judge my speed along with the speed of the ship. If there's any sea out there, then I need to be positioning the deck of the pilot boat at the top of the wave, and then we're not in danger of squashing him or breaking his legs.
You have to bear in mind that they've been in charge of their own destiny, and then they're allowing a pilot to come on board and take over the conning of the ship. You're coming in over the bar, there's surf on either side of the ship, they need to trust you. We're coming in through the channels, past Appledore, into the River Tor, and further on into Yelland. Turning in the river is one of the more interesting parts of the job. You have a 6,000+ ton object and you have to stop it with a flood tide trying to keep you going. Ships work 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Therefore, we find ourselves working at night. Bideford residents wake up, open their curtains, and they'll see a large ship that has arrived right on their doorstep. The ships that come to Bideford generally come to load ball clay. I work closely with the captain to calculate how deep the ship can load. Very often when we leave the quay, we have a clearance of centimetres. Quite often it's 10 centimetres. And we do quite a wide range of ships, from tugs and tows to naval ships, from Appledore shipyard. A ship will be in port for 24 to 48 hours, and it's our job again to conduct the ship back out to sea again. When we're leaving at night and the conditions are marginal, I'm very glad of John Pavitt's 35 years experience and the fact that he doesn't panic. If he doesn't get me off, then I would find myself in Spain or somewhere else.
For all the technology that has come along, basically nothing has changed from the pilot's point of view. He is still hanging on a rope ladder on the side of the ship under any conditions, and it's the crew on the pilot boat that have to get him safely off and on the boat.
10, 11, 12, 13, and a little snout at the back. And then we've got one in the water, one female. It's quite a nice little group really, because we've got the males and the females and the youngsters who will have been born last August through to November. It's quite nice to see them growing up. Coming out on a seal survey is one of the biggest bonuses. Being out with the singing seals serenading is that it's just me and the wildlife, and I'm not in the office typing. You can really start to become one with the island again and get to love it again. So Lundy's actually quite a small island. It's only 3 miles long by half a mile wide. It sort of erupts out as the sea, but it is a mecca of wildlife, and because of that it does encourage lots and lots of researchers to come. And so my role as the warden is to oversee all the conservation work. There's the sparrows, there's Manx-shoe water work going on. We've also got the productivity monitoring of the seabirds. At Jenny's Cove it is full of seabirds. We've got razorbills, guillemots, kittiwakes, fulmars, shags, they're all here. The puffins, however, have been our biggest success story. We were down to 5 puffins. In 2003 there was a rat eradication project to get rid of all the thousands of black and brown rats. About 3 weeks ago I had 53 puffins on the land, which is great. Oh, they're so cute. Got lots of puffins today going in and out of their burrows. One of the things I'm doing today is to map out which burrows are being used. So I know that we've just seen one go into this little burrow here, so I just put another dot on. Later on in the season we can see if any fish go into those burrows, and if they do then we call that a successful burrow. And we've had chicks, which is really good news. We're now in the summer season, which means that we have got Oldenburg sailing again. And she sails from both Ilfracombe and Bideford.
The weather forecast today is a westerly southwesterly wind, force 45, sea condition moderate to rough.
And my role encompasses going down there to meet the boat and to go and meet the visitors. And along with me is usually Johnny, who does a lot of the Land Rover runs, and also Mike, who does the cargo. So one of the things I like to do when I'm down at the jetty is to have a quick little catch up with our captain, Jerry, but also to discuss things like the round the island boat trip, general gossip. Yeah. We're very lucky when I got the role on the island, as there was also a role available for Johnny, who's my partner, and we came here together. He is a general outdoor assistant, but we also get to work together. And the nice thing is that as Johnny's a dive instructor, he's able to help me out taking snorkel safaris, mostly doing shore support, but also he can come in the water too if we have larger groups. We are unique in that everyone that works here lives here. Chloe, who's doing an excellent job with guided walks, Steve, also the ranger, and there's housekeeping. We also have Grant in the bar. There is a really big community spirit. And one of the really positive things for Lundy is its stakeholders. The charter boats, the fishermen, they all love Lundy and they really want to support it. And if there are the occasional thing they're not quite sure about, they are the first people to let me know. So the pale seal that we can see with the other two, a couple of divers reported her to me that she's sadly got something around her neck. She's scratching and trying to rub at it, and hopefully it will come off it on its own. With the topography that we have on the island, we can't risk trying to catch one, because if we tried to tranquilise an animal here, we're more likely than not going to actually unfortunately drown them, because they'll just go straight in the sea. But it is something that people should be aware of. The marine litter sadly has quite a negative impact on all our marine life, even something as large as a seal. So one of the nice things of having Johnny here is that I'm quite good at being a sofa bear, so just lounging around on the sofa on my days off, but he is quite good at getting me out to enjoy the island, whether that's walking around or just going for a little dive under the jetty. You're generally not on your own. You do get joined by our little mischievous and curious grey seals. Some of the encounters I've had with the seals are ones I'll never forget, and it's an interaction that really is just something to enjoy and just like the moment, really.